It's because the U.S. It's because the mail in Northeast Roanoke say they haven't received mail deliveries in more than 2 weeks. It's because the U.S. Postal Service says a mail carrier was attacked by a neighborhood dog on the loose. WFXR's Rianne Lowndes has the story.
Spent the whole morning going to the post office trying to get my mail. And when I got it, it was so many stacks, I ain't had time to go through it all.
Leroy Carney and Marjorie Brown say their mail hasn't been delivered since December 10th.
I've got medicines, coming in the mail. It's, we just can't get our mail and have to go down there every day to pick it up. And that's a long ways to go, for us.
Utility companies don't understand that I'm not getting mail. If you don't pay your bill, they don't care why.
They're so fed up, they're moving.
I've been in this house 30 years.
Woo! Wow. Wow. I'm sorry, I had to stop it. Once again, this is my first time watching this. A lot of these stories, I watch it for the first time with you all. Boy, I had to stop this. They're about to move after being in this house for, what did he say, 30 years?
But,
well, let's back that up.
For us.
Utility companies don't understand that I'm not getting mail. If you don't pay your bill, they don't care why.
They're so fed up, they're moving.
I've been in this house 30 years. But I've had enough with the mail problem.
That's because loose dogs assaulting postal workers is nothing new.
This is not even the first time this has happened, in the past 2 years.
This is the third time that this happened before.
The fourth time, really.
So the post office has given residents two options. Pay for street-side mailboxes so that carriers can stay safely in their vehicles, or have USPS pay for a communal mailbox that residents will have to visit and brave the streets themselves.
Wait, what? Wait
The
a
mail meant
minute.
to be safe.
Pay for street-side mailboxes so that carriers can stay safely in their vehicles, or have USPS pay for a communal mailbox that residents will have to visit and brave the streets themselves.
All right.
I want the mailman to be safe, of course. And if you ask me, the bigger issue isn't even that our mail isn't getting delivered. The biggest issue is that our neighborhood apparently has animals in it that are able to get free that can attack people.
And the Postal Service says they'll be making a decision on what to do here on Northridge Street by January 1st.
Oh, stop. Stop. Welcome back, everyone. I just wanted to go over some recent news that surfaced here in the last few hours. Roanoke Street. This is in Virginia. And this is good, because this is the type of thing that'll turn entire neighborhoods against whoever the nutter is. Now, most likely, there'll be other dog owners in the community. But there's a good chance that those people don't own pit bulls, Rottweilers, and other large, or what they call power breeds. So, without, my input or anyone's influence, you might have a situation there where the entire neighborhood is against this bully breed owner, this German Shepherd owner. They're dead set against this person. Now, if I can assist in increasing the intensity of discontent, then I'm going to do it. It does not matter to me whether or not my efforts is helping other dog lovers. If I see the chance to put pressure on any of them, I'm going to do it. And I have to admit, this would please me. You know, if I were in a neighborhood that pushed bully breed owners out of it, well, that's a better neighborhood than one that allows these people in the community. Okay, now this surfaced just a few hours ago. About to move after 30 years because of some lunatic. See, this is the type of thing that'll make people keep their nutter neighbors in check. I'm all for it. There was another story surfaced here just a few hours ago. Pit bull attacks small child at home in Hull. Dog later euthanized. 3-year-old girl visiting her mother was hospitalized after the child was bitten by a pit bulldog. Attack occurred 6 p.m. Where responding deputy reported he was advised that the child had a piece of her face missing. A piece of her face missing. That happens a lot. Okay, that happens a lot. Child's mother told the officers she did not see the attack, but the dog belonged to her boyfriend. Boyfriend told deputy he saw the dog knock the child to the ground and get on top of her, and that he pulled the dog off. Okay, then he secured it in a cage. Child's mother was contacted. She advised she was leaving the medical center where the child was taken. Attempts made by blah, blah, blah. Officers arrived on the scene. Surrender. Okay, so it doesn't get into the details of the attack. I always look to see whether or not it was provoked. This was unprovoked yet again. If they don't even mention it, I'm going to chalk that up as an unprovoked attack. Because if it's provoked, that's going to be the highlight of the story. Oh, child poke dog in the eye and gets attacked. Oh, child pulls on dog's ears and dog can't take it no more. They would love to run a story like that. Okay, so if they don't, then I'm going to assume that it's the same type of attack as all the rest. All unprovoked. Right, so I just want to go over a little bit of recent news before I got into this live stream. How we doing today? What's today? Thursday. It is Thursday. So what inspired me was this article. Wait, can y'all see that? You should be able to see the same article I'm looking at. Shout out to everybody. Everybody's comments has popped up in the chat room. What's going on with y'all today, man? Hope y'all staying clean, fresh. All right, clean and germ-free, dog-free as always. Yeah, this goofy story surfaced just a few hours ago. Pet of the week. Okay.
I have it.
And what makes this pet of the week? Fact that it runs. I mean, what is this? What are we supposed to be looking at here? Is this supposed to be some type of miraculous thing? Okay, a dog is just standing there. What's so special about that? What's so special about little goofy videos like this? Oh, but it's so cute. No, it's not. It looked dumb and goofy and nasty. It looks unsightly. No, nothing cute about it. I'm not getting it. And I won't get it. But to run a story like this at the very end of the year, after we had a year like 2022, is the height of being disrespectful. It is the height of being inconsiderate. And being inconsiderate, that really sums up this dog culture. But it's so vague that it's an understatement. Their inconsiderate behavior gets deep. It gets deep. Like, how dare you run a story like this? With all the attacks we've seen in 2022, with all the different things that's happened in 2022, are you out of your mind? These people have to be out of their minds. Now, I keep saying it over and over there. These people are plumb nuts. Can you not tell? Well, first of all, we have the fatalities of 2022. And like the previous years, it was a bad year this year. The fatalities. And as always, they are unprovoked. Okay? Unprovoked. A lot of interesting stories too. Let me expand this here. Hopefully y'all be able to see this. Okay, where are we at? Okay, that's 2021. Like this woman who was attacked by this dog, and they say that the dog was a highly trained personal protection dog. Okay, and it had been trained by her husband, and her husband is a long time and very accomplished dog trainer. They had to shoot and kill this mutt because it killed this woman. Earlier this year, we also had a 1-year-old, Lola Jade Farr of Columbia, Mississippi, who was killed by a worthless mutt, and it just happened to be a pit bull. And that woman that I was talking about, she was killed by a Dutch shepherd, a shepherd mutt. Okay, so it's not all about pit bulls. Other dogs maim and attack as well. Okay, so 1-year-old killed, that was back in February. And unprovoked as always. You had a 3-month-old baby, Charlotte Holman, back in January, killed by a French Mastiff, a bully breed. A 3-month-old was left unattended with the dog. The mother went to the restroom. Then the mother hears sounds of the dog biting the baby's head and intervened. Baby did not survive. The death was ruled accidental. The death was ruled accidental. And that's what we need to change. That's what needs to be changed. These are not accidents. Accidents is when you're oblivious to the threat of injury. I mean, it's not that hard to understand. You have to be unaware of the threat to consider anything like this an accident. And there are no dog owners unaware that this could happen. So that's the sacrifice part of it. They know it's possible and they take a chance anyways. Also, just this month, earlier this month, a 4-day-old was killed by a husky. And this is that story where in the article they said that the dog simply put its mouth on the baby's head and then the dog's tooth penetrated the baby's skull. Now, they tried their best to make it sound like an accident. Oh, the dog didn't really bite her. It just put its mouth on her. And the dog's tooth decided to penetrate the dog's the baby's skull. Dog didn't have anything to do with it. Man, oh man, whoever has access and is able to edit that article, they need to change that. Because that's like blatantly offensive. Okay, that was a 4-day-old infant. And I suspect they were trying to get some goofy nutter photo or video, because that's what they do. That's part of dog culture. To use the baby as a prop. They really don't love the baby. They love the dog. And the main reason why they have babies is to help put the dog on a pedestal. So it's not real love. These people don't have genuine, organic relationships or love for their offspring. Their obsession is with the dog and the dog alone. The child, like I said, is just a prop. Now, this is all this year. So back in February, a 4-year-old was killed. Okay, a 4-year-old Drew Parker was killed by 4 pit bulls. So gruesome torture. All of these fatalities was preceded with torture. Just for the record. Okay, just for the record. The boy was mauled by his aunt's 4 dogs and died at the hospital. Neighbors had no previous problems with the dogs. Okay, they had never shown aggression. So there you go. Unprovoked as always. And the dogs had never shown aggression. So you have nothing to base legalizing them on. You can't even rely on a history of non-aggression. Also, October of this year, a 5-month-old was killed by 2 pit bulls. This was Hollis Dean and Lily Jane. Many of you I know remember this story. This was one of the more viral stories that surfaced this year. This was probably the biggest story of 2022. This story was was going viral for a few days. I mean, this is around a week after it actually happened. The news section was just full of articles on this incident. But this family, this man and this woman, they owned multiple pit bulls. They owned multiple pit bulls. And they had these dogs living in the house with these kids. And the dogs did what dogs do. They specifically did what bully breeds were bred to do. And that is to attack just because they love to attack. And what really proves that these things just love to attack is the way they don't stop their attack. It's always a sustained attack where this mutt just can't stop. No feelings involved, no love involved, none of that goofy nonsense, just sheer bloodthirst, rage, and evil. That's what dogs are all about. Nothing but evil, demonic, cold-hearted, soulless killers. Soulless child predators. That's what they are. Nothing defines them more accurately than that. And I love saying that. Okay, so this is a horrible, horrible story. And the wife, she was mutilated pretty bad from what I understand. Both dogs launched an attack against all 3 victims. At no point did the dogs snap out of it and think to themselves, what are we doing? Why are we attacking our only source of food? Oh, don't you remember? You love her. You love him. You're supposed to protect them. Oh, well, I guess not. Well, since you're attacking them, I'm going to help you. Okay, these were big time pit bull advocates. And we really haven't heard from them. We haven't really heard from them since this incident. What's going on out here? Right? Also, you had a 6-year-old killed, 2022, Francis Kavanaugh, over there in Dakota, North Dakota. Boy's body was found in his housing development. Investigators confirmed he had been killed by at least one dog. Okay, that was a slow death. He also had a 7-month-old baby, Serenity Garnett. Okay, girl was attacked by the dog while being watched by her great-grandmother, who was renting a room from the dog's owners, who were absent at the time. Girl died after being brought to a local hospital. The grandmother also suffered injuries. And this is that case where they actually charged the grandmother with second-degree murder and being in possession of methamphetamine. Man, how you gonna be a meth head grandmother? That's so sad. That's so sad. I really feel sorry for drug addicts like Kylie Waltman. That also happened this year. Okay, that's another attack. It didn't involve the fatality, but I want to deal with all these memorable, gruesome maimings that took place this year. Kylie Waltman, yeah. She was attacked, had her arms amputated, had her colon removed. And I think this attack just made her drug addiction even worse. She spiraled deeper and deeper into depression and probably felt like there was no reason to even live. And, society tried to get us, the general public, to take a dump on this woman. Now, I have no mercy for dog lovers, but this is an addiction. It's an addiction, and it's a big problem here in the United States, and it's not given proper attention, except for here on the grassroots level, the everyday people. Okay, so that took place this year. Some of you remember Olivia Grace Floyd. Another attack took place this year. Quite often, if you just Google their name, the story will just pop right up. Some of you remember this, or remember this girl, this victim. Okay, well, wait a minute. I don't like that one. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Man, grandparents face murder charges. Right, y'all remember Olivia Floyd. She's mauled to death. Grandparents, and I think this is the grandparent who faced murder charges, who was actually, no, this is a different one. This is a totally different one. And as always, unprovoked. Unprovoked as always. When are we going to get to some attacks that were actually provoked, like these behaviorists and trainers swear up and down happens in every attack story. No, I'm not letting y'all off the hook. Y'all have put this information, it's everywhere. It's literally everywhere, all over the internet. And you need some people out here holding you up to, we're going to make sure that you know what you're talking about. You claim to be an expert. You need to have a group of people out here keeping an eye on you, an eye on your work, on the evolution of your profession, the development of your profession. Most importantly, you need a group of people out here who's checking to validate that what you say is true. And if it's not, you need to be called out. And it's now your job to revive your profession. It's not bullying. We're just tired of being bullied. Look at how the attack victims jump from age 7 to 27 and then to 40s. Gives you an idea of who the primary victims are. Kids and the elderly. Boy, it didn't spend much time at all. Already you had 58-year-olds, 59-year-olds. Also killed this year. Okay. So people of all ages got dealt with. Some of these people attacked by packs of dogs. Those are relevant fatalities. Because the scenario is one that any of us can find ourselves in. Walking out to get our mail, taking out the trash, just walking outside, period. Many of these people doing their garden, and they were attacked and killed. And once again, as always, it was an accident. Oh, it was an accident. It wasn't purposely done. We had no idea. How were we supposed to know? How could we have known? This is Fido. Right? This is Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo don't bite. Now, we just dealt with fatalities. That's not all that happened. That's never all that happens. And keep in mind, many of these mutilations go unreported. They're not reported in the mainstream media. My niece is a good example. Y'all remember this? This was this year, people. Mother's warning to parents of all toddlers after her son's nose was ripped off by a single bite. Y'all remember this? She called them best of friends. Oh, the dog was my child's best friend. Y'all remember how they ended this article? I think they ended it with a quote from her, where she said that I know a lot of people feel like their dog would never do something like this. And then she admitted that she used to say the same thing. Right? She was one of those people who used to say the same thing. Here it is right here. People love their dogs and say, my dog would never do that. But we used to say the same. Real good example for the dog lovers out there who would say that. And that's pretty much all of you. If your dog has never attacked anyone up to this point, you say this too. Don't even try it. It's all 2022. Now, this did not involve a fatality, but this is a life-altering attack that is almost just as traumatizing and life-altering as a fatality. Many of these attack victims wish that they had been killed because their injuries are that gruesome. Their life has been changed that much. So another attack took place 2022. It did not involve a fatality. And this is real important to point out, because a lot of these dog lovers, the first and only thing that they want to talk about is how few fatalities there are per year. Oh, it's not that many. Only 40, 50 a year. And those people completely ignore attacks like this as if this is acceptable. Okay? And this boy, his face, horribly mutilated. Horrible. He'll never look the same. His own family's been saying that. And this just happened last month. Okay? 2022 was a horrible year. Every year has been like this. Unbearable type stuff. And these are attacks that are completely unnecessary and completely preventable. Most importantly, these things are 100% preventable. And it simply requires that dogs are not around. Okay? Some of you remember this. What was it? Boy unable to smile after sweet dog ripped off his cheek in bed. Now, what do you think this child was doing in bed? Think he was pestering the dog? Dog ain't have no business in his bed in the first place. Man, I can't even look at this. I can't even look at this. Now, I don't like seeing stuff like this, and then to see these parents up here trying to pretend like they love their child. Get out of here. You get out of here with that. Get out of my face. You love that dog. The very reason these kids get attacked is because of these people's obsession with the dog. And they're constantly trying to create a new photo, trying to gain acceptance from their fellow dog lovers at the expense of their offspring. There's nothing honorable about that. This also took place this year. This took place back in May. Some of you might remember this story. I'm going to try not to show kids if they pop up on the screen. I'm going to have to scroll past it. Okay. I want to keep the comment section strong on this one. This took place in Louisville, Kentucky earlier this year. What happened? 8-year-old Kyson was attacked by a neighbor's dog. The boy needed hours of surgery. Now, this boy was playing with a friend on his scooter. Okay? When he went into his friend's backyard to get a bike. And that's when the dog attacked him. Once again, unprovoked. I don't want to hear nothing about territorial aggression. Whether you're on the dog's territory or not, if it sees the child, it's going to try to attack him. Wouldn't have made a difference. The main thing here is that the dog wanted blood. Don't point towards territory. This was another unprovoked attack. Okay? So, once again in 2022. And when you examine these cases, it makes the idea of only focusing on fatalities that much more ridiculous. It's like, how could you possibly pretend like these attacks didn't even happen. And that's what you do when you only want to talk about fatalities. Simultaneously, you're saying these attacks don't matter.
A Montcalm County man faces charges after investigators say his 2 dogs attacked a 5-year-old boy. The boy is now recovering in the hospital. 13 on Your Side's Carla Byron spoke with his mother, who says he has a long
now, wait a
recovery.
minute. This was another story. This took place this year. All the stories I'm sharing here, they went down this year, people. That's what we're doing. I've done this before. I cap off the year going over all the attacks that went down. I think this is the first time, though, I'm focusing on maimings, mutilations as well. I think a couple other years I only focused on the fatalities.
Ashley White says her mom was taking care of her 3 young kids while she and her fiance were at work Thursday evening. Grandma went inside to get a drink for the 1-year-old.
The dogs came out of nowhere from across the neighbor, I guess. They broke out of his van. They were locked in a cage.
Y'all remember this story? Mutt was in a van, in a cage. Soon as he opened the door, it darted out, ran across the street, and attacked this child. That's why I say dogs are not territorial. They'll leave their territory to attack, and they will allow strangers onto their territory as long as the stranger has food. That's not a territorial creature.
Broke out of that cage, came bolting right towards him.
White's 3-year-old daughter ran inside to get Grandma.
Let me rub that in. Unprovoked. How you like that? Child didn't do nothing. Didn't do nothing to this dog. Unprovoked. Come on, behaviorists, trainers. All you put this information out here that all attacks on kids are provoked. Where you at?
The 2 dogs had latched onto Hunter, one on his neck and the other on the back of his head.
A couple other neighbors came. My mom trying to get the dogs off of him. Finally, there was quite a few of them to get them off.
Hunter was taken to the hospital suffering multiple gashes to his head, broken facial bones, including his eye socket and jawbone, as well as bite marks on his legs.
But if that other neighbor did not come over the guy to get him off, he probably wouldn't be here right now.
A spokesperson for Montcalm County Animal Control says the 2 dogs were euthanized and will be submitted for rabies testing. They've also submitted charges for the dog owner's arrest. He was found to not have dog licenses. However, he didn't have any prior animal complaints.
I'm worried about, he's not going to want to go to his grandma's and not feel safe being outside, and then just being around dogs and getting close to any type of dog, and just the trauma of the whole event that happened. And
okay, now, quite often, the trauma is irreversible. The victim is traumatized for the rest of their life. Irreversible trauma. And you actually bring these things into thousands of schools across the country without anybody's consent. And these are the same creatures you want to teach kids are harmless. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. Listen to these horror stories. Y'all want to project these things as kid friendly? Are you out of your mind? Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nutters. You're all out of your minds. I don't think you were ever in your right state of mind. Most of you started being brainwashed when you was a little baby. You haven't snapped out of it. This also happened this year.
Easygoing dogs, and they're usually wonderful around children, which is why this next story is so surprising. This 8-year-old boy was attacked by a lab at a daycare center and ended up in the hospital with some pretty serious injuries.
That's another thing. Why are dogs at daycare centers? Once again, this shows their addiction. When they see kids, oh, I need to find a dog. Oh, I need to find a dog. Or when they see a dog, oh, where are the kids at? Where are the kids? I need to find a child. Bring it around the dog. Let it hug the dog. I'm telling you, these people have this crazy, bizarre obsession with endangering kids. They're not endangering the dog, just the kids. The craziest thing in the world.
This brave little boy is recovering from a nasty dog attack, and the identity of the breed may shock you. 8-year-old Connor Aranda was bitten by a Labrador Retriever. Yep, a lab, perhaps the most popular family dog in America, beloved for their gentleness and love for children. The attack happened here at this private home.
Love for children? Stop. And then they show a service mutt. These things are always drugged up.
For their gentleness and love for children. The attack happened.
And it's not so much of them being so gentle. It has more to do with the fact that they're drugged up more than any other mutt. Okay? Because they're the choice for being therapy mutts. Oh, yeah. Remember, Caesar was bitten on camera by a lab.
And here at this private home being used as a daycare center in Apple Valley, California. Connor and his 6-year-old sister Madeline had just been dropped off by their mom. Connor says he was in the front room with several other kids and Duke, the black lab, when for no reason.
See, this is why, you see, look at this house. This is why you can't trust no private daycare where somebody just using their house. Because most likely, they're going to try to integrate dogs into the house. Those ones are more likely to bring dogs in the house. Just because they're a bunch of dumb goofballs. You got a house full of women and kids. That dog snap, there's nobody inside the home that can stop it. That's stupid. Again, it goes back to the video I made. This is dumb behavior. And there's no way to deny that. It's dumb behavior. You don't have to participate in stupidity.
And he says the dog started biting him. His sister says she saw the whole thing.
We've been there for 2 months, and the dog knows us very well. And then the dog...
Oh, did you hear that? The dog knows us very well. Okay?
For 2 months, and the dog knows us very well. And then the dog just acts like he doesn't know him and then just attacked him.
Connor's mom said...
Yeah, that's what dogs do. That's the true nature of dogs. So, the only other question you need to ask is it worth it? Is it worth the risk? Of course not. Of course not. And anybody who think it's worth the risk, they're out of their mind. They're out of their mind. It's really that simple. Something's wrong. You need help if you think it's worth the risk. Y'all remember this one where this woman and her daughter was helping this elderly neighbor, and then the elderly neighbor's dog attacked them. That was this year, 2022. Man, oh man. See, the media, they don't recap each year like this, and they need to. This needs to happen. They're not putting a spotlight on these attacks. The fact that I have so much content available, it really reflects how negligent the media is. Yeah, I wouldn't have to go through all this if they were doing it already the right way. This also took place this year.
A 4-year-old girl from Panama City who was attacked by a dog continues to heal this hour after being treated here in Gainesville. CBS 4's Juliana Maya spoke to the child's mother to share her warning for other parents after the attack.
Victoria, Tori for short, is recovering after a pit bull attacked her face.
She can see out of her eye today, so she's doing really good.
Last Wednesday.
Man, why you got a pit bull around your kid? A 4-year-old, really? Man, does it require that much thought, that many brain cells to realize this is a dangerous thing to do?
She can see out of her eye today, so she's doing really good.
Last Wednesday in Panama City, an older woman was babysitting the 4-year-old. According to an investigation by the Florida Health in Bay County, Tori and another little girl were roughhousing when Tori fell on the older woman's dog. It then bit her over her right eye. The situation became serious enough. Tori's mother says she was airlifted.
And these situations where kids are playing and they bump up against a mutt, I don't want to hear nothing about that either. That's a freedom that we're supposed to have when we're kids. I'm not trying to hear that. We should be able to play inside of our homes or wherever we are without having to worry about being mutilated. I don't want to hear nothing about no child's misbehavior. Don't even start.
To UF Shands Children's Hospital.
She's, puffing through the changes of the bandages and the creams on the face.
They expect her to heal as her family stayed there every step.
Hey, Tori, I love you.
Look, see? Stop it. Stop it. And then after these attacks, of course, a lot of these parents, they get excited. Oh, I get to get a GoFundMe and get a bunch of money. And then that's when they want to pretend like they love their child so much. Oh, you're the number one thing in my life. Number one in the world. Now they try to, run this game on you like they're the best parent on the planet. Just a few days ago, they were bringing predators to their kids and basically saying, hey, if it attacks you, tough. Let's just hope that you live.
Every step.
Hey, Tori, I love you.
No. Hey, if this was me, I would have been offended by my parents saying that. Don't tell me that you love me. Why don't you show it? Because if you've been showing it, I wouldn't be in this hospital bed. See how worthless words are? Actions speak louder than words. Man, actions speak, period. Words don't speak. If words ain't manifested in reality, they're worthless. I want to hear this. Oh, I love you. Shut up.
As her family stayed there every step.
Hey, Tori, I love you. Just go night-night, okay?
Tori's mom says the dog will be euthanized. She warns other parents to keep an eye on your child for any animal interaction.
Please watch them and let them, educate them on how to handle animals.
And shut up. You hear this, freak? Didn't I just tell you that she was full of BS? Talking about I love you. When here after the attack, who she blame? She blame her own daughter. And I bet you anything, the dog lovers are so proud of this woman for doing that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for talking about your daughter's misbehavior. We're so proud. Listen to these sick people, man.
Please watch them.
Watch children? What'd she do? You notice? Do you see how these people are just programmed to blame the kids. They can't even explain how it was the child's fault. What did she do? She didn't do nothing. She bumped into a mutt. How you gonna stop a child from bumping into something? What is watching them gonna do? What difference that gonna make? You would just watch them bump into a dog and then watch them get attacked by the dog. Watching them ain't gonna make no difference. That's not the cause of the hazard. You not watching them. The cause of the hazard is that dog being in the house, you idiot. You goofball. Try to blame it on somebody not watching the child.
Action.
Please watch them and let them, like educate them on how to handle animals, act around them.
Despite
How to handle them and act around them. Kids don't have to learn how to act around no dog. You know what? Screw your dog. Don't be going out here telling people to change their kids' behavior for no dog. If your kids need to behave in a certain way so that a dog don't attack them, the dog ain't got no business in the home in the first place. Is too much for these people to understand? You bump into something, it kill you. And you want to point towards you not watching the child as the cause of the problem? No. You're the cause. You should be arrested. You should be thrown in jail. You brought that thing. You endangered them. Want to hear nothing about their behavior.
Handle animals, act around them.
Despite the tragic event, Tori continues to move forward.
How's she supposed to act? What are you saying? Kids ain't supposed to play? This girl was playing. Are you saying you shouldn't have allowed her to play? So kids, y'all can't play because the dog don't like it. Well, get that thing out the house. Simple as that. Can't even play. You get mutilated for playing?
Despite the tragic event, Tori continues to move forward with laughter.
Woo! What is one? It's only working, and I'm so prayers
Wait
out
a
there. She's got thousands of prayers out there, and it's definitely working, and I'm so blessed, so grateful.
Heartland Rescue Ranch hosted a fundraiser online, raising nearly $750, even paying for the family's hotel room while they stayed in Gainesville.
I so very much greatly appreciate everything they're doing and all the support they're giving us.
Tori is making tremendous progress, and now back home in the Panhandle.
Stop. I'm tired of these fake people. These dysfunctional, soulless people who have had their soul ripped out of their body and they just pretend to love. They don't even pretend. They just say it. It's all lip service. The only thing that they demonstrate their love for is dogs. And that's why the kids are always the ones being mutilated, not the dog. They don't endanger dogs. They wouldn't endanger the dog. They wouldn't even put the dogs in a dangerous situation. That's why when they see a dog inside of a hot car, they lose their mind. Every one of them to see it. Oh, look at that. The idea is you're not even supposed to put the dog in that type of danger. But they'll put the kids in danger every day, all day. So another case took place this year. Did not involve a fatality. What was this? This is back in August. 15-year-old babysitter helped. Okay, there's a 4-year-old who's attacked in this case. Some of y'all remember this. I mentioned this in a live stream. One of those compilation nuttery live streams. This dog is said to have gotten loose in the neighborhood, as always. And the 15-year-old and 7-year-old and the 4-year-old were walking down the street, minding their own business, as always, and was attacked, unprovoked, as always. Okay? This is not a good look. All you behaviorists and trainers, this is not a good look. Every single story testifies against everything you say. Every single story. Your profession going down the drain. All your credibility as a professional going down the drain. Slowly but surely. Y'all better get on board. You better get on board. You see, when our numbers get large enough, you're going to have to make a decision. You know, you're making a big deal out of my channel here. Just imagine if there were 50 channels like mine that were much larger than my channel. Y'all would have to address some of this misinformation that you put out here. And that's just the thing. Our sheer presence in numbers is going to be enough to make things happen. So y'all better get, I've said this before, you better get on the right side of things now while we're still early in this movement.
Tyler's on his way to school.
The owner of the dog now faces 7 charges in Henrico County. 8 News reporter Ben Dennis is live outside the Henrico courthouse with more. Ben, good evening.
Well, Eric and Dana, tonight I spoke with the father of this 6-year-old boy who was seriously injured after being attacked, as you mentioned, by 2 Rottweilers just last Wednesday in Glen Allen. Today we got our hands on the court records related to this case, including 2 counts for the dog's owner of having a vicious dog. The terrifying ordeal was caught on camera. Just as a warning to our viewers at home, we wanted you to know that some of these images are disturbing.
Face, ears, but the most damage is in him right leg.
6-year-old.
So, you see how kids respond to the presence of a dog when the dog is out freely like all the other animals. They're terrified. And this, without exception, this is how it is every single time. If a dog is off leash somewhere, not only every child that sees it, every adult, they're going to be terrified. So if when people see these things out in nature and they are terrified, then you can't justify bringing them into schools around kids. That completely goes against the therapy dog business. That's why I say I don't understand how they've gotten this far with that therapy dog nonsense. You talk about fight or flight, having an adrenaline dump, having your blood pressure go through the roof. This is what happens when people see dogs. And they're at the same time trying to project dogs as the cure for anxiety, as being more capable of calming you down than anything else on the planet. People got some nerve, man.
Old Abanoop Zakaria's body gashed and bloodied after a brutal dog attack in Glen Allen last week.
I think at least 50 stitches in him leg.
Wow, 50 stitches. I called Abanoop's father, Yusuf Luza. He decided to tell his son's story off camera, unable to face the painful emotions of remembering those moments face to face.
When you see your son with pain and he's in the street, okay, a lot of blood everywhere, scratch everywhere, So that's hard.
His clothes ripped up.
Dogs are they are so deserving of extermination. It infuriates me. Nothing would make me happier than to see the complete extermination of bully breeds. You talk about a creature that don't deserve to live. There's not one bully breed on this planet that deserves to be here. Every single one of them needs to be exterminated. Again, I don't care if it's never attacked anyone. Like I said, there's nothing innate in any dog that's stopping them from attacking someone. It's not the result of some magic, some special magical love inside no dumb dog's heart. Nothing like that. It's simply a dog that hasn't attacked anyone yet. They're all guilty, every single one of them. And they should be wiped clean off the face of the earth. That's the goal. That's most definitely a major goal. This is something else that happened this year. You go over the stories that went down this year. That alone is a lot of content. This was when those 21 people were bitten by these two mutts, just going around at a school during recess, attacking kids and staff. No reason at all. Just let's attack, just to attack.
Playground where they attacked students and teachers during recess. By the time the situation was contained, 18 students and 3 teachers had been injured in the attack. The students in 5th and 6th grade were outside Willard Intermediate South in an unfenced yard when the 2 pit bull mixes began attacking them.
Okay, so they left their territory, came onto the school grounds, and attacked the kids. Once again, unprovoked. Why are we still making excuses for these things? The evidence against them is so strong that there's nothing to even have a discussion about. The only questions I have is how long will it take to exterminate all of them, and when can we get started? Now, I'm talking about the government carrying out these exterminations. I don't support nothing illegal. But if the government makes the decision to exterminate them, I'm going to offer my services. I'm going to offer to help them with that process free of charge. That'll be my community service. So dogs show a pattern, a strong pattern of behavior. Okay? It doesn't taper off. It doesn't disappear, on certain months. There's no pause. There's no break. They have a consistent reputation of aggression, unprovoked attacks. We got everything we need to ban these things. Most definitely ban them. You're talking about bully breeds. That needs to happen right now. We got everything we need to ban them, and we got everything we need to justify the extermination of, at the very least, bully breeds, which includes Rottweilers. But if you're going to do something, do it right. If you're going to ban and exterminate these worthless bully breeds, you may as well get rid of some of the others as well. Get these Huskies out of here, these German Shepherds out of here, all these big worthless mutts. And even if they don't attack anyone in the family, these things are destroying the relationships. They are a source of abuse. They're used as a vehicle for child neglect. You bring these mutants into homes where there's families, and you immediately project the dogs as the most important things inside the home. Big time. Every day of a child's life, they have to face the thought that the dog is more important than them. These homes are full of kids who try to bend over backwards to get their parents' approval, attention, praise. They're constantly working to get the same level of praise that they give the dog. So it's a constant state of feeling neglected, of feeling like a second class child in the home. I can't imagine the type of home, growing up in a home like that, where your parents clearly, in the most overt ways possible, treat the dog like it's more important, like its life is more. And that's not an exaggeration. That's what these people are doing. Because only after the dog comes into the home, now your child is at risk. You sacrificed the child's safety. That is another way for you to say the dog is more important. Again, actions speak louder than words. You got a bully breed, some other large, vicious mutt inside the home. It's irrefutable. You are saying that the dog is more important than the child. You have to live with that, not me. Don't get mad at me for pointing this out, for making this argument. The only thing you need to ask is whether or not it's refutable. No, it's irrefutable. So you deal with that. I get tired of these people trying to act like I'm the bad guy. I'm the hateful, evil, bad guy for pointing out this sick lifestyle. Are you crazy? Snap out of it. I mean, if you're so humane and you're so good and your heart is so pure, and you should be disturbed by the stuff I talk about on this channel. If you're a dog lover, you should be getting rid of that dog with the quickness. So you just being, numb to the message tells me that you're just brainwashed and there's no helping you. Now, hopefully I'm wrong. Time will tell. So yeah, 2022, bad year, as all of the years. Like I said, dogs have consistency. They have consistency. If nothing else, they attack on a regular basis and they don't let up, which is strong evidence that they should be gotten rid of. There's no amount of training. And again, keep in mind, as time has gone on, over the past 20, 30 years, attacks have steadily been on the rise. Steadily been on the rise. And at the same time, the number of dog trainers have steadily been on the rise. Behaviorists on the rise. The amount of free information on how to raise dogs has constantly and steadily been on the rise. But none of that stuff makes a difference. Still to this day, the more dogs you have, the more attacks you're going to have. Which lets you know there's no helping dogs. There's no amount of training. There's no miracle training technique or tactic None whatsoever. So the very existence of so many trainers in the face of so many attacks, that is even more evidence of why they should be gotten rid of. They're a failed creature that you cannot reform. I just shared a story where a dog attacked a woman. That dog was professionally trained. Professionally trained. Her husband is said to have been a trainer for the longest, for many years. And that's not the first trained dog that we've heard about that have attacked someone. Okay? This is real simple. Shout out to Jason FNJ in the super chat. Yes, sir. The best types of channels to host are the channels based on common sense. If you got to do a bunch of elaborate, making stuff up or whatnot, there's probably something scammy to it anyways. But man, I never would have guessed I'd discover brainwashing on this level, where the majority of the population is brainwashed. But that is the United States of America. Fingers crossed, let's hope we can change this around in our lifetime. Shout out to everybody who was able to join me for this live stream. Hope y'all having a wonderful, excellent Thursday, and will continue to do so. And I look forward to your comments in the comment section of this video. And shout out to Nikki Vaughn, who has become a member of the channel. Shout out to Nikki Vaughn. I don't know, I thought Nikki was already a member. Yeah, shout out to all the members. A lot of people became members of the channel this year. Big shout out to all of you. I just now recently reflected on the number of videos that I made this year. I had no idea I made that many live streams. I couldn't even believe it until after I counted the videos. I actually had to just go in and count them. 297 videos this year. What in the world? And that's just live streams. I also made a few pre-recorded videos this year. Let me see. 297, 298, 9, 300, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 305 videos total. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about. When you hear stuff like that, and especially when you look at the fact that so many of the live streams are well over an hour, most people would be like, okay, what more needs to be said? But it's not about just saying everything that needs to be said about a certain subject. This is about consistency. This is about using every single story to either validate or invalidate my position. The actual attack cases, they're either going to validate my argument or validate the argument of the dog lovers. That's why I cannot avoid dealing with these stories. That is really what makes my platform legitimate. It's these stories that surface. Every single one of them exposes this culture as worthy of being eradicated. More than worthy of being eradicated for so many very important reasons. It's not just physical safety, also our health. I dealt with that a little bit in the members area, if you're not aware, check out the most recent video I did on our health. Because even if it were just for health, dogs pose such a threat to our health, they should be banned for health reasons alone. Yeah, so join us. Be one of the people who value cleanliness and sanitation. You can pop your collar to that. You can be proud of that. There's nothing about stench, toxic slobber, urine, and excrement. There's nothing about that to be proud of. That's simply not an honorable thing. Join the classy people. That would be us. In order to be classy, it requires a sense of hygiene, a high sense of hygiene, a strong sense of what's nasty, filthy, disease-ridden, germ-ridden, parasite-ridden, bacteria-ridden. That's a strong indication of how evolved you are. Right? What is going on? Big shout out to everybody. Shar, Serena in the building. Serena she creates content. Isn't that right? If I'm not mistaken, Serena. Shout out to Serena, who has become a content creator. That's right. Shout out to Wish You Well, Ashar in the building, King Babe. All right, Mr. Hernandez in the building. Mr. Payne, as always, in the building. Mr. Louise, as always, in the building. Good to see all the usuals in here. A few new faces. Shout out to Chief Jamal, who is a member of the channel. Range Rider in the house. All right. Hope y'all staying warm, staying safe. Make sure you keep the salt out. Keep it handy. Don't want people slipping and falling. Right now is the worst time to be getting chased by a dog. You try to run away from a dumb, worthless mutt. You slip and fall. And you on a patch of ice. You can't get up. You know, bad position to be in. Make sure you're taking good care of yourself and take good care of your family. Don't do nothing. Now, people shouldn't have to tell you this. Don't do nothing that will endanger you or your family. It's so sad that people have to be told this. It's so sad. But you got to do what you got to do. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me. And I hope to see you all back on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.